Hey guys, we are in Key West, Florida. We are going to be sailing aboard this Seawind 1160 Lite for the next 3 days.
We are super excited about it because the Seawind 1160 Lite is basically at the top of our short list for our next boat. And when we said that, I think it was during our live stream, one of our viewers, Bob, reached out to us and was like, hey, I've got a Seawind 1160 Lite. It's in Key West. It's not far from you. You should go sail it. And obviously I said, sure, let's do that.
So Bob's boat 7-day weekend is in a charter in Key West called Sail Away Key West. They have a bunch of different Seawinds that they charter out for weekend trips, even sunset cruises, day cruises, things like that. So if you're interested, we'll have their contact information in the description below.
And we just want to say thanks again to both Bob and Sail Away Key West because this is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And we're setting sail in like 20 minutes.
Momentarily.
So, momentarily. Let's go. So we just spent the night here in Key West aboard 7-day weekend, and we are now getting the boat ready to leave the slip, and we're just gonna be going for a test sail. We just turned off the AC. We're gonna be getting that trifold door up right now and setting off. Part of the reason we really like this boat is the dual helms right here, but then this entire area opens up. So this door folds all the way up so it's completely out of the way, and we're gonna be doing that right now for this trip because the weather should be very, very calm and nice for having the door wide open. Keep going. There. Just got out of the channel now. We're still motoring, but we are ready to put the sails up, and hopefully we won't be running these motors basically at all for the rest of the trip. So let's see how that goes. I'm getting us turned up into the wind so we can get the main up. It's not a heck of a lot of wind today. Apparent wind speed's at 9 knots. That's with us moving forward too, so. We're gonna see how this boat performs in light wind situations.
Which is actually extremely important if you're a cruiser.
And if you're an electric boat.
That's true too.
So I'm just bringing it around on autopilot. I'm just playing with the autopilot because we've never had it, so. I'm
show them the setup.
Yeah, I'm bringing it around so our nose is into the wind. Don't even have to touch the steering wheel. I would say that's good enough. And then our motors are down to almost idling. We're just holding our course into the wind. Undo the main halyard, main sheet's locked. And we're just gonna raise the sail. Everything is right here at the helm, so. We've got autopilot holding our course, and then we've got a self-tailing electric winch hoisting the main, so can't really complain. We're gonna bear away. We've got fighter jets flying in formation over us, but we are currently on a beam. Doing pretty good. Holding course with the autopilot, and now next is the jib. So, and then we'll kind of point ourselves in the right direction and tune the sails. So they're idling right now, and they're off. And I'm lifting them out of the water, which that should help us gain some speed.
There's the starboard engine as it's lifted to the water too.
Good for now. We're sailing, guys. Now it's just about picking our course and setting our sails. Our goal is to go to Boca Grande Key, and supposedly there's some moorings there we can moor up to for the night. Along the way, we might do a little bit of free diving. For right now, we're just trying to get a sailing test on this boat. We just want to get some time behind the helm while we're sailing. Just kind of play it by ear. So weather's good. This right here, guys, is what it's all about. We've got our single level twin helms. This is just awesome. Down here at the main helm, we've got our instruments, got our autopilot holding our course, currently holding a course of 215 degrees. Our apparent wind speed is 4.5 knots, and our speed over ground is 3.5 knots. I think that's pretty good performance. Our true wind speed is saying 7 knots, so doing about 3.5 in 7 knots true.
Keep in mind also that this boat right now is set up as a charter, so we're not even using like true light wind sails. So I think that's kind of a good point to point out. If you had actual light wind sails and rigged it for what we're doing right now, it would be performing even better, which is incredible to me.
Right, like right now we'd be flying, you know, a code D, and we'd probably be doing another knot or two.
Right, absolutely.
This is the dream right now, guys. We're sitting right back here on the starboard side, these seats that are in the back right here. We can see everything. We're on watch. We've got the autopilot on, the sails up, and we're doing 3.5 knots and 6 or 7 knots of wind, so we can't complain. Hopefully over the course of the trip the wind does come up a little bit, because I'd like to see how it performs in a little bit heavier wind, but I mean, light wind performance is really important, especially if we want to do one of these boats and do electric, because we're going to be sailing 99.9% of the time. We've been becalmed, so the wind just shifted. It went from like 6-7 knots down to 2 knots, and now we are currently close hauled, and we are traveling at 1 knot. So
no, we're not becalmed, because isn't that 0 knots?
We're not 0 knots. No, no, we're going a little bit upwind in 2 knots of wind at 1 knot. So we'll see what happens. We're not in a rush. So now we're completely becalmed. All right, ready?
Well, it was just 0, but now it is 0.1.
Speed over ground, 0.5 knot. True wind speed, 0.1, 0.2.
0.2 of a knot.
Yeah, we're becalmed. We tried. We sailed for a little bit. Tried our damnedest for about 2 hours or so. Just really couldn't sail. The wind was 0.5 knot. So now we're motoring, going 5 knots. It's so calm out here right now.
Although we ended up motoring more than we'd like to, we made it to the eastern dry rocks off Key West to do a little freediving in good time. Don't worry, we had the boat for 3 days, so eventually we did get some good sailing in, just not at this point yet. To the untrained eye, this is a beautiful reef, and although that may still be true, I wanted to quickly talk about something important to us. Randy and I have lived in the Florida Keys for over a year now, and have lived in Florida all our lives. We love freediving, but we can honestly say that every single reef we've ever dove, we've sadly seen many, many signs of coral disease and death. I won't get into the topic in detail in this video, but I'll mention that if you know what you're looking for, you'll clearly see a lot of rapid tissue necrosis, coral bleaching, and just plain long dead coral in this footage. If you want to know more about this topic, the place to start is by watching the documentary called Chasing Coral on Netflix. Now that that has been said, I did try to get footage of as much healthy coral as I could, so I hope you enjoy.
So we just got done doing a little bit of free diving. What'd you think, Grande?
It was really nice. It was called Eastern Dry Rocks, I think, and the rock formations there were really neat. I'm not like diving right now. My doctor told me not to, so it was cool that a lot of those formations came up high where I could actually see them.
Yeah.
So that was good.
There was a lot of tourists, but
There were a lot of tourists. There was a big boat that just like chartered a bunch of people out there. And as they came up, a little girl, you could hear, "It's so pretty." It was just so cute. It was funny.
yeah, but it was fun. It's a cool little spot. And yeah, we haven't dove any Key West reefs. We've done a lot of marathon reefs, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we have to motor to our anchorage because it has been, aside from when we first got out, it's been
like no way.
Yeah, like a knot, 1 knot or less all day long, and it's been a beautiful day to be out on the water if you're on a power boat, but not necessarily if you're on a sailboat.
Yeah,
but
look how calm it is.
yeah, take a look. No wind whatsoever. Glass. And we're like 4 miles out, maybe? What are we doing now finally, Randy?
Sailing.
Yay! There's wind again. A little bit. Just enough.
Just enough.
So we are currently reaching. It's about as far out as I can get the boom. We just don't have a heck of a lot of wind to push that boom out, so. But we are reaching right now. Let's go show you the instruments. So our course right now is kind of dead downwind, so we're going to be doing a couple of jibes. We've already jibbed once. Just do little controlled jibes. Pretty easy with this boat. So we've got an apparent wind speed of about 4.3 knots. Our wind angle is at 120 degrees, 130 degrees. So we're reaching right now. The true wind is about 6.5 knots, and we are doing, up there it says we're doing about 3.2 knots over ground. So not bad, not bad. 3 knots and 6.3 knots true. Not bad. One thing is if we had a spinnaker right now, we would be doing a good amount more in boat speed, but you know, we're doing what we can with the tools that we have. So far the boat has performed pretty well under sail. So for the limited wind that we've gotten, doesn't take a lot of wind to move this boat, which is a very good sign.
We just pulled into this very calm anchorage off of Boca Grande Key. It was a little sketchy getting in here just because of how shallow it is all around here. So we're at 10 feet, 10 3/10 of an inch right now depth-wise, but right ahead of us you can see it's marked as 4 feet. To the sides it was like 2 feet, 1 foot. How'd you feel about it?
It was just sketchy for us because this is not our boat, so we're trying to take everything super conservatively. So, but no, it wasn't too bad. Now that we've done it once, we're properly moored up, and we're gonna spend the night here. We might spend 2 days here. I don't know. We'll see. We're still not quite sure what we're doing tomorrow. Whether we're gonna keep the boat here and dinghy around, we might do that, or if it's good wind, we might go sailing. But I don't think there's gonna be good wind, so I think we'll be dinghying around and exploring a little bit. So it'll be fun, and yeah, this is nice. There's only one other boat here, and we're like in the middle of nowhere. Pretty cool. True wind speed's about 15 knots. We're doing about 7.5 knots right now. Apparent wind angle about 80 degrees. If anybody says performance catamaran sailing or catamaran sailing isn't real sailing because it's not a monohull, they're out of their mind. This is fun.
I've got it right. but I learned